Yo, 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 Ben, you there, bro? Or Craig, you there, bro?
Yo.
Yeah, how's it going, bro? How's it going? Welcome, everybody, to the edition of the STX London Community Town Hall. So, if you're not in here and you're catching this back on the replay, the STX Town Hall is part of the Community Builder initiative that we're doing here at STX London. And getting community builders more involved with the ecosystem, allowing them to contribute in their own ways to the STX ecosystem. And yeah, that's the main driver behind it. So with the STX Town Hall, this is an idea that was brought about by Ben Richer Crypto here, who will be the host for this session and for future sessions of the Community Town Hall. And it's more to touch base with our community here in the UK, although we do welcome everybody to join. So without further ado, Ben, I'll let you go ahead and do a bit more of an introduction and introduce yourself, sir.
Nice one. I'll just give maybe a minute or so, see if anybody else is going to drop in.
You can start whenever you're ready, sir.
Cool. Hey everybody, welcome to the first ever STX London Town Hall live stream Twitter Spaces. My name's Ben. I'm a community builder here at London. You can follow us on Twitter or X at STX London, those of us listening on the replay. And you should hear more about STX London show. I'll not try and intro us right now. You can follow me at Ben Richer Crypto.
You can start whenever you're ready, sir.
Cool. Hey everybody, welcome to the first ever STX London Town Hall live stream Twitter Spaces. My name's Ben. I'm a community builder here at London. You can follow us on Twitter or X at STX London, those of us listening on the replay. And you should hear more about STX London show. I'll not try and intro us right now. You can follow me at Ben Richer Crypto. Just tiny little bit about myself. I'm a moron, first and foremost. That'll become obvious in time. Bought my first sats almost a decade ago. Came into Bitcoin with not much in the way of background knowledge in economics or programming or anything else too relevant. So decided not to open my mouth publicly. I had a private Twitter account, of course, but yeah, now I'm ready to ruin all of that. I first learned of STX after hearing of it in 2019, I think it was, listening to a talk or an interview with Naval Ravikant. I think it was, listening to a talk or an interview with Naval Ravikant, who is the co-founder of AngelList, a fundraising platform for the businesses and CoinList, a fundraising platform for crypto businesses. Bought a little of the Stacks token, STX then, and didn't pay too much attention to it, Stacks or Blockstack as it was back then, as a project for quite a while. I told you I was a moron. Looked into things again in, I think it was early 2021 when the Stacks mainnet chain launched, and the project had changed its name from Blockstack to Stacks, and then learned of Stacks London last year. And shout out to the Web3 Cat at the Web3 Cat on Twitter for introducing me to Stacks London. And yeah, 3Cat on Twitter for introducing me to Stacks London. And yeah, now I'm going to try and get these live streams, Twitter Spaces, X Spaces on the go. Yeah, we plan on these being a regular kind of town hall style stream where we'll cover all sorts of topics and issues related to Stacks and building on Bitcoin. And hopefully along the way, we'll have a chance to kind of shine a light on some of the people and organizations doing Stacks and Bitcoin related stuff here in the UK. Yeah, we want this to be a town hall kind of vibe where there's a lot of opportunity for any of you listening to engage, hopefully ask questions to some of the guests we have on about topics that we'll hopefully cover. So yeah, please get involved. We'll try and let you know about future spaces, topics, and guests with a little bit of notice in future. So you can submit questions and the topics of all those guests to us on socials before the stream. Or if you catch a stream live, then hopefully there'll be opportunities for people to ask a question or two. As it's the first one, please forgive us any tech problems and the low sound quality. Hopefully that'll improve for the next one. Let us know about any major tech problems at Stacks London on Twitter/X, and we'll fix them for the next time. Today, I just wanted to bring on Osman, bring on Natsi, co-founder of Stacks London, co-founder of the NFT Clothing Club, a head honcho at CoinScrum, a man who does many, many things. And I just thought, who better to kind of introduce us as an organization and talk about how we have kind of grown and how Nat and others here have kind of started to build up a little UK-based stackers and Bitcoiners community. So with that, I was wondering if you could say hello, Nat.
Yo, yeah. I'm still here. Yeah. Definitely big up
Nice.
to you though for coming through, because I know you were speaking to Emmanuel for some time about coming to help out with the chapter. So definitely big up to yourself for putting yourself forward, because it's very difficult sometimes. I think people when they go into new communities, they find it hard to see how they can connect with people or put themselves forward. And something that I found joining the Stacks community myself was, I bumped into people like Hero Gamer down there, because this is something that I think Stacks has been trying to address for some time, with like the advocates and chapters and stuff like this, like ways in which we can actually, get people to a level of confidence to be able to come forward and contribute openly. So yeah, definitely big up to yourself for that. So.
Sure, thank you. And thank you as well, Hero Gamer in the chat. Stacks communities head honcho, I think. And yeah, speaker on many Stacks ecosystems spaces. So yeah, thanks for joining us briefly. Yeah, so Nat, I mean, when I was looking into sort of Stacks London after the Web3 cat kind of mentioned it to me, and that he was kind of starting to work with yourselves. I guess something that kind of stood out to me initially about Stacks London when I was kind of looking into you guys was the creation of like these in-person events where like big name people will come speak and like high level topics will get discussed. But these events didn't have this kind of the usual, dare I say, frigid, nerdy kind of meetup vibe, or the like stuffy, almost like pretentious crypto tradfi event vibe. I know you were speaking a little about this on the Web3 Music Show with Nat and I. Shout out the Web3 Music Show. Next Monday. I think that'll be another Twitter space hosted on the Stacks London Twitter/X account. But yeah, I know you were speaking a little about this on the Web3 Music Show last week. But do you think that your prior experience in music and the music world, I don't know if you could speak a little bit about that, and do you think that being around so many events, obviously in that kind of ecosystem with live music, as well as kind of obviously having been in crypto circles for a number of years now, has kind of helped you and to, I mean, as well, some of the other Stacks London co-founders, has it helped you guys in executing on these? I think there's some of the older kind of promo stuff that refers to them as these hybrid events that have this, yeah, very kind of natural, easygoing kind of vibe.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like the music events experience does kind of go hand in hand with it, because in the, like, let's say the earliest crypto events that I was going to, those were a bit more, and actually the first crypto event I actually went to, I did speak about this on the other space, was CoinScrum. It was the first ever crypto event that I ever went to. And at the time, it was a completely different aim. It wasn't so much to kind of to learn well, it was to learn more, I'd say, but it was more because I couldn't find anywhere to buy a Bitcoin apart from like local Bitcoins, right? So it was like, do I trust these people on local Bitcoins, or do I meet a guy in a coffee shop somewhere, right? And I was like, your Bitcoin.org site used to have like this thing up with, try and find a Bitcoin meetup in your city or whatever, right? So it's like, okay, cool, I'll try and do that. And then I came across CoinScrum. This was like back in 2015, and I was like, okay, cool. Well, let me go to this event and see what it's about. And just kind of went down there, and everyone's like in a pub, like just chilling, like. So I'm like, okay, yeah, right. So there was a few speakers. I can't remember who was there at the time. I think it was Vinny Lingham, who was speaking that night when I went there. But yeah, I went down there, and obviously at that time, pretty early. Let's say obviously CoinScrum's been around since like 2012, so it was pretty early. And the way that I saw CoinScrum was, and I think the way that it's been, and we still keep it to this day, is like education first, isn't it? So it's like it's a no-shill environment. People come, learn, you connect with other people who are working on all sorts of things, but primarily the audience has historically been like a bit focused audience. And in the earlier days, let's say probably around just before the, well, I'd say a little bit before that, probably in the early days when they first started, it was like purely Bitcoin, as far as I know. And then obviously once Ethereum was about to launch, then that became the hot topic, obviously in the crypto space. So all of this time, I was probably still sitting, behind my screen, scrolling on my phone at work or whatever, trying to find out more about Bitcoin. So yeah, so again, my experience of events kind of started in the meetup environment, just small meetups. People just kind of, I mean, back in the day, I think they used to call it shadowy circles or whatever, right? So small, really kind of like just people meeting each other that were interested stuff. And then my later experience, like in the early 20s, I started going to events again, and obviously we were in like ICO phase, so it's like big events happening left, right, and center. But because I'd met so many people, let's say between 2015 and let's say the early 2017 period, I was getting invited to lots of events anyway. So I was just going to like every event, like all the time out of my house going to events. You know, I was having like my third daughter going to events. You know, I'm trying to say to you like 24/7. So again, that period was slightly different because again now Bull Run, you've got all this ICO stuff happening. People are raising millions, billions of dollars, whatever. You know, and you know, crazy parties, obviously insane, right? So I think at that point is when I started to put my experience with maybe the music world in with it, because what I started to notice is that the parties were like really big and insane, but there was no like kind of live entertainment happening. You know, it'd be few and far between that there would be live entertainment happening. So in later 2017, 2018, that's when, you know, there was lots of like different experimenting going on. You could see like lots of the different bigger, you know, crypto entities were putting on these kind of after parties or events which had the encompassed in them. But during the early part of 2017 or the early ICOs and that, it wasn't really like that. And I don't know if it was like that before, because that 2016 period, I didn't really, you know, life journeys and all of that, right? So I didn't really go to any events during 2016, I think to the end of 2016. So maybe there were other parties that were happening, but I don't know. So then moving on from that, seeing kind of what happened in 2021, yeah, or 2020, 2021, we've got a lot more creators now. Yeah, there's a lot more going on with contrast. There's a lot more, shall I say, of the kind of Web2, the instances of Web2 applications coming over to like Web3. Yeah, I think that's what I would say. So I mean, see that there's so many creators in the space at that time, kind of said to me, okay, you know, if we're going to do events and everything open back up again, people are going to start doing events big, right? So this is the right time for it. And that's literally what started happening, right? As you can see, like in that 2021, 2022, even up to now, 2020, lots of events now have got like lots of like musicians, DJs, you know, whole lineups. Like, and there's whole music industry, you know, like in Web3 now. Like when I first, like blockchain and what blockchain was, my first ever idea for blockchain was music royalties, because I was in the music industry at that time. So it's funny that it's kind of come around full circle for me in that way. So yeah, our plans, sorry, just to answer the question totally, but our plans going forward for hybrid events is to try and mix that in quite a lot, you know. So we're finding ways to do it, and obviously we're in a bear market, budgets and all that as well. But yeah, my experience from that era of mine definitely, definitely carries over into to what we're trying to do with STX London as well.
Cool. Yeah. What you were saying about how the, I guess, the way that there's more creators, more artists, that kind of thing in this sort of in a blockchain, crypto, Web3 kind of space now. It's, I guess, maybe it's kind of similar in a way to the emergence of like video games creators back in the day. You know, the early software developers were trying to do, you know, serious things. The first mainframe computers were all sort of in science labs of universities kind of thing. And then these people making, you know, creating things for fun, God forbid, kind of show up. And it only takes a few years for the creators and the artists and the experimenters, I guess, maybe to come into the industry. And yeah, it's interesting how there definitely has been a step up, not only from the events that yourselves put on in the past, but yeah, it's crazy, I suppose, much like me to kind of watch how everything's just exploded. You know, the in-person events has completely kind of changed, and it's really cool to see STX London and the events that we have been part of creating being on a kind of that.
Yeah,
But
definitely. And just sorry, just to add on, sorry,
yeah,
to
go for it.
what you did ask as well. You know, the idea, let's say, because I know, like, if we go back, let's say 2 months to the Coders Law event, You know, the ideas that we like the idea for the Code of Law event actually came around whilst we were first thinking about doing Stacks London. So it's actually a lot older than us just kind of coming out with it as an event in the middle of the year. So the idea to bring regulators, people from regulatory circles, shall I say? I wouldn't say just regulators specifically, but bringing regulators or those people in that circle, lawyers and developers, specific developers, because developers are the people who are having the hard time when new regulation gets passed and an exchange needs to build this or a wallet needs to have that, you know. So bringing those together and then allowing the public to come in and really kind of have a conversation or a debate around what is actually happening. You know, a lot of the time we see on Twitter, you know, from various countries, we share stuff that is from inside, you know, that country's parliament or, you know, their cabinet offices, and them talking what's going on with Bitcoin and what's going on with Web3 and crypto. But you know, a lot of us are kind of like just screaming at those things, like, you know, hey, this, you know, this is what we want. And there's never really that chance for people to really be with all of those people in one room, like ask the developer something. Like, yeah, we've got Twitter spaces and these online spaces where people can do it, but there is no kind of events in the industry that focus bringing everybody together so that everyone could have that talk in one room, rather than the Congress guy saying some really dumb stuff here that, like, you know, just doesn't translate to to anything in crypto, and then the developer saying some really high level stuff that the you know, the regulator guy doesn't get. And then the lawyer guy who knows both sides now, you know, he's like, okay, I see how this could work, but then he has to now take what the regulators done, because the regulators, you know, they're not normally speaking to lawyers, they're speaking to their own legal team. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? So and they probably don't know about you know, the space themselves, and then the people are left just with basically whatever happens. Do you understand? And that's what ends up happening. All the Web3 community is left with, or the users are left with, is whatever derives from that situation. So doing that event for us was bringing, again, we want to be able to bring concepts together within events that that maybe shouldn't really go together, or it seems like they don't really go together until you notice that there's this big gap that nobody's really doing or nobody's really talking about, and people on, you know, different sides of the spectrum, they all, you know, are saying the same thing. And the one thing that is happening within the US and both in the UK, which are two really good regions, obviously, for crypto adoption, um, like, again, you're not seeing that conversation happen, and you're not seeing the regular A guy being able to go into an event like and then have an actual debate session between the people on stage and the people that are in the audience. It's normally just, we're going to talk about our product, or we're going to talk about our NFT or whatever it is, and then it's going to be a couple of questions and then it's the end, right? And what we wanted to do with that is specifically make it so that the audience could mix with the people, even in like the after party room and in the speakers sections and stuff like that. So that's what for us was unique about creating that event. So yeah.
Yeah, it was super interesting to sort of see at the Code is Law event back a couple of months ago, to see kind of, yeah, very much sort of traditional corporate world kind of lawyers, um, and then crypto people from all over the world who kind of ended up in London somehow, who turned up in shorts and t-shirt kind of at the same event, and chatting around the same kind of, you know, trying to come to some sort of consensus, to a bit of a cringe crypto word, um, on the same kind of topic. Yeah, it all in the one place with whoever it was that had turned up. And yeah, it doesn't feel, the events that I've been to, they've not felt this kind of, yeah, they've just been uniquely, I guess, non-stuffy, non kind of uptight. Yeah, just a real kind of unique vibe that you guys have been able to craft I guess. But another of Stacks London's aims is to kind of empower the community with opportunities to learn more about different aspects of Stacks and Bitcoin, right? And so we've been a part of creating obviously educational events, as well as putting on parties where lawyers and crypto developers sort of turn up and chat with a beer. And on the educational front, I believe we've kind of got a few things on the horizon. Maybe I don't know if you could tell us anything about maybe the building on Bitcoin events, or maybe something on the Dev Breakthrough program. Yeah, anything on the kind of educational, more dev focused side.
Yeah. So with the, I suppose it's probably maybe breaking it down into the two main initiatives at the moment. Uh, One of which obviously this space is and the town hall was, and the other, Nat Nye's Web3 music show, music and poetry show. That those two have, as I said, been born out of this community builders initiative. So one thing we've kind of experienced, I would say myself and Doc, mostly, and Resh, as well, who I'll speak for a little bit, but I don't want to speak totally for him. But um, one thing that we've kind of experienced in the Stacks ecosystem, and I think probably from the people I can see in here, everybody in here has experienced this same thing of coming into Stacks and realizing, that there is a lot to be built, and everybody is really, really friendly about building it. So it's not, it's like a Bitcoin. It's like going into a Maxi community and it's saying, I want to do something with this, and nobody going to you, that sounds bad. Do you understand, right? So so I feel like that when I came into Stacks, for me personally, that's what it feels like. It feels like old school Bitcoin. Like as I said before, when I was like coming out and going to these events or whatever, and everyone was just talking. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this, and hey, yeah, have you seen like Dash, or have you seen like Monero and Litecoin, and oh, I don't know, and that's how it was like. Like when I came in, it's like people actually talking about doing stuff, yeah, right, and people actually talking about innovation, but still being Bitcoin first, right? So so yeah, so the main thing, like obviously with the community builders initiative, is to kind of focus on these areas. And I think again, I don't know if Hero's got time to come up maybe and speak, and I know Benaire's been added to the speakers as well. And this, remember, as a town hall, is open for every week, right? So, and also Fred there as well, like Sam, like for a long time, right? It is like everyone has been trying to get themselves and other people inspired and enough help to build, right, within the ecosystem, and everyone's very helpful again. So it's like with the community builders initiative, the whole point of that is to literally give tools, give exposure straight away to what's going on in the Stacks ecosystem, and then giving those community builders whatever advice, the leg up that they need, the link to the right people, if it need be, for them to be able to realize kind of like what they would see as a contribution to the Stacks ecosystem. We're not about saying to people, oh, well, don't do this or don't do that. Anyone can do obviously whatever they want to do within the ecosystem, but we're here to kind of help them shape what they want to do. And I suppose it's the same with the Stacks Advocates program as well. It's for us to help us. Yeah. So with the Community Builders Initiative, we want to do that specifically around the UK and people who are doing, let's say, Bitcoin or Stacks focus stuff within the UK. We want to be able to highlight all of those builders, whilst also letting people, know what is going on with the general Stacks ecosystem. And then with the developer track is like really starting off small, but it's a whole different beast altogether, because and then Benaya probably will talk to you about this, but there are a few other chapters Australia is working on similar things, to bring more, not only developers, but to also educate, and make the learning process as simple and smooth as it can be for people to learn how to start becoming Bitcoin stacks developers, blockchain developers overall, and also kind of create a route to employment for developers. But then the kind of icing on the cake with the developer track program is working with also developer companies in a way that, rather than it's like having let's say a talent pool and a gig economy in one. So developers find work, newer developers get trained, they can take part in contractual with these developer partners, or they maybe will get hired by a development partner. And developer partners also have a talent pool that they can reach into to find, let's say, a trusted group of developers who have come through a certain route of understanding Bitcoin and stacks development. So there's a few different components to it, and as I said, there are other people doing very similar stuff to this. But yeah, we wanted to focus that effort, obviously, in this particular region of the world. So yeah.
Sure. Yeah. It's really cool to hear about all of the things that we do have going on. I was just going to ask another question, but I noticed that Fred in chat has his hand up. Binay, I know you've sort of asked to be a speaker as well, but if you're all right to hold on just a few minutes. But yeah, Fred, seeing as you have your hand up, am I all right to pass the mic over to you in case you have to get off soon? You got things to do, something like that. Yeah, if I could hand the mic over to you and yeah, ask away.
Hey everyone. I pretty much know everyone in this room, so I'm gonna introduce myself. I mean, I'm in my day job right now. I'm an accountant, but I work in a really nice area in Napa Valley, in like the North Bay, California. So I usually just like listen in on to the spaces, and then whenever I need to talk, I just step outside, see some nature. But Nat, first I just wanted to apologize, bro. I know we've been like trying to schedule to talk multiple times, and we're just both probably so busy. But I'm glad Sam knows about the space, because I didn't even. I swear I've been trying to. I don't know why I couldn't find the Stacks London account, no matter how much I searched for it. But whatever. Maybe you guys are getting blackballed, bro, by
Shadow
Elon.
ban.
Yeah. But so man, like everything you're saying here is just stuff that I've been thinking about, and actually it was one of my more recent ideas that I was having, because for a long time, something that I've been wanting to do was build a launch, and I have all of the design and all of the budgets and everything from from Stewart and the Mohawk Council up there in Ganawage, and although that's not like something that's immediately feasible, it's something that I think there's a opportunity for in the short term, and what I wanted to do was create like a Stacks Advocates, kind of like an internet cafe, but almost like a, maybe not even advocates, maybe this is more of a chapters thing, and it's just something that we all collaborate on. But establishing, a physical location in what my opinion, the first one place would be Stacks London, because it seems like you guys have a lot of activity there. But even if we just, I'll even personally, if you find a plat and tell me how much like the rent is for the first month, I'll personally pay the first month's rent, and we could just start hosting. We could host an event there, like a grand opening, and then just open it up, for free to anybody that's part of the broader Stacks ecosystem. And then, we charge the public to use the facilities. But basically, 24/7 internet cafe type thing that functions as a workspace for anybody who wants to participate in Stacks and Bitcoin. And, it gives people an opportunity from maybe countries that are a little bit more economically or politically unstable, to have a, almost like an underground road, to get some safe harbor and be able to focus. Actually, you can't build, like, what can you really build if you don't have peace of mind? And you have a lot of people that are in countries where they're worried about going outside. You know what I mean? So establishing like these safe harbors for our people, I think, is a very foundational step in like addressing all the issues that you've said here.
Yeah,
Sure.
that is crazy. Yeah, bro, definitely. Like, and you know what? The funniest thing that you said that, right? Just yesterday, I went over to a friend. Was Lavinia Osborne's event yesterday, and she was speaking about doing a similar type of initiative, just like co-working spaces and stuff like that. It's something we've been thinking about in CoinScrum as well. So definitely up for exploring those avenues, bro. 100%.
Let's do it ASAP, bro. Like I said, start looking around for like commercial spots to lease or even like a residential one. We could always just get a house and just fucking have it there. But let me know prices, and I'll start freaking putting money away, and we could hopefully get something started by November.
Yo, bro, we're gonna start that shit October 2nd. We have the first cohort starting with 50 students in Nepal. We're gonna run that shit up and do like 500 people next time around. So
Is
I
Benaya
see
speaking?
that
Because
you're right.
I might be getting rugged.
Yes.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's speaking. He is speaking. Yeah.
yeah. So, Frederick, you're just right up in North Cal. So I was just in Napa Valley just like a few weeks ago. So we need to catch up. And
He's gonna jump
you know,
back in. I think he was getting rugged.
okay.
Yeah.
So this talk. I mean, thank you, Sam, for sending me like the reminder for this call. I wanted to join, and I've been listening. It's been so awesome, and I just like to say that I really it really warms my heart to like hear all these like efforts and things that we're trying to do and facilitate for people, and that just solidifies that you guys we're all our like people, right? So we have like the mass market, we have like the target audience, and then we have our people that we band together and kind of push all of us that one step higher, one step at one day at a time. So really I want to also like thank you all for like being in this space, like doing what you guys do, and really setting an example for others to follow. So kudos, guys. Sometimes we need to take a step back and kind of rejoice that we're here and doing all these things. Well, with that said, good PD, I see you down there. I didn't forget. I'm still connecting with artists from Denmark. I'd like to continue to do that. I know Gamma has now program for artists. I'd like to kind of take that also to kind of more people and like get more artists into ecosystem. I was in the other space earlier, and they were talking about how NFTs and like artists can be kind of like a marketing tool for like the blockchain activity. So we could always help more artists, like exposing their work to global audience, and also have that activity on the network. Other thing, I see Hero down there. I think, do we have a space later on for grants too? I think. So we'll maybe again discuss there. But I want to briefly like kind of update everybody about where we're at with Builders Academy. So this is actually help I'm asking for the Stacks London community. Nat, please pay attention here. And everybody, whoever can amplify this message, I think we'll have a good chance to kind of tap some resources that can take us very, very far. Over the past 6 weeks, I've been a part of this build space, which is like a 6 weeks sprint to kind of test your idea and bring it to market. And my idea was to build space by going to build space, and I'm calling it Builders Academy. So that's my build space idea that I'd worked on for past 6 weeks. And just yesterday, I submitted my final demo video, which was the last Twitter video I posted. So let's make that shit go viral. Let's share that, because based on all the projects that are submitted by the Build Space projects for this season, they'll pick top 32, and then of those 32, they'll have a live streaming like a game show. Then people can watch and can vote, and then you'll have a chance to win like $100,000. So I think we might have like a pretty good shot at it. So I want to kind of now all the work for the build space has been done. I want to like amplify this message and really like blow this up, so that we really like bang the drum, so that we tap into these resources. So help us here, and let's get this shit done. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Binaya. yeah, it's really cool to hear what you've been up to and kind of the what you've been able to kind of come together, put together over like such a short space of time. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, it's been really encouraging, and thank you guys for the support. It's been awesome, really. I'm glad that I took that leap of faith and kind of decided to take on this particular challenge, because this has really connected like a lot of the threads. If you like go and watch that video, it really encapsulates why we're doing Builders Academy, because it ties back to 15 years ago when I first I started my journey, like outside of my home, and like coming here, learning, and kind of now trying to give back to the community. And the best way is to really, because we live in the post-COVID era where all the opportunities have moved to remote, there's no longer need for people to move cross-border, right? So that opportunity cost is too high, but we can easily move these opportunities to where these people are. So that's really what we're going to try to do with Builders Academy, and we're very encouraged by our feedback with the students, and students are excited that we're doing this. We originally wanted to just take like 25 students because we didn't know what to expect, but we have already like I think 43 signed up so far, and now we've expanded our first cohort to include 50 engineer students. So we'll see. So I'm going to wrap up this weekend with this Build Space Final 32. And then weekend there's a in real life meetup in like a Build Space school in San Francisco. And then I'll probably travel back to Nepal and then start the first cohort starting October 2nd. So you guys will see that. If I don't do that, please keep me accountable, because I trust you guys to keep me accountable. So if you don't hear any updates in like a couple of days or whatever, like DM me and like, I'll ask me like what's happening. So yeah, that's the plan. And yeah, that's it. I don't have anything else to share. So I'm happy to hear. And if you guys have any questions, just happy to answer. And as you all know, these are things that we're trying to do. So if you know anybody that is interested in our work or any resources that we can tap to, of course we're always happy to learn about those, right? So that's that. Thank you
Sweet,
guys.
man. Thanks so much.
But
Yeah,
Frederick, you're nearby. Let's connect.
yeah, it's cool to hear what you've built and how you've kind of spent your time over in the States before heading back to Nepal. And it's cool to, on this first space, to have heard from people in the States, and then people who are normally over in Nepal. It's amazing to see how it's a global community, as well as us sort of locked in rainy-ish England. But now, I mean, on the sort of dev side and hearing of all of the things that people are doing in various kind of, in all of the different programs that are going on, all of the initiatives being put forward, be it by the foundation or by different Stacks chapters. I was, can I kind of pry into anything that we might have going on in 2024 or later on in the year, be it sort of dev stuff, be it in-person events or anything like that? I'm sort of fishing for alpha whilst trying not to mention anything specific, but is there anything that you can kind of just tell us a little about that we have going on at Stacks London, coming into the end of the year and going into 24?
I mean, probably the biggest alpha, obviously, right now is Bitcoin Unleashed London, right? Yeah, that's probably the biggest alpha, right? And a funny story is, right, like again with that as well, is that was as well one of the things. Like, I mean, if you speak to people like Hero Gamer down there, he will tell you, like, when I first came into Stacks, all I kept saying to people was, we need to have a Bitcoin Unleashed in London. We need to have a Bitcoin Unleashed in London. So it's the for us, it's like, yeah, this is like happening, isn't it, right? So yeah, I mean, we're definitely excited about that. That is definitely like lots and lots and lots of alpha I think in between that as well, a lot has just been happening, or a lot of news worldwide has put a lot out of London and the UK. So obviously you have a lot going on with regulations in America that is kind of almost chasing away all the crypto companies. And you have the UK being one of the prime regions that is kind of like got a lot of, crypto entrepreneurs and companies here, or that started here originally. And, the UK government is, they're not creating any particular regulation, I'd say, but they're not being as hard on, let's say, and we say that, but the FCA is doing a bit of a madness right about now, but they're not being as hard as the SEC is, right? And the FCA, for those who don't know, is the UK version basically of the SEC. So yeah, it's because of that, right? I think like the UK has, as I said, become like a really, really good place to set up really pretty much anything. So I say that I say that to say this. I wouldn't say necessarily setting up, right? So I wouldn't say like, don't quote me on this, but I wouldn't say set up legal entity in the UK, right? But I mean, the UK is definitely one of the hubs around the world for meeting people within crypto, as I said, and especially within the Bitcoin space. 2 days ago, I was at London Bitcoin space, which is, used to be, I think, London Bitcoin meetup. And they've been going for quite a few years as well. And, the energy is still here, right? And again, years ago, even, I mean, in the ICO craze, there was a lot of Bitcoin energy, like in London. So yeah, there's a lot that we can do, and there's a lot that we're gonna be doing. I think the biggest part of that, where you're saying about the next couple of months, is delving into the development side of things, partnering with universities and getting these courses up and running and these connections up and running between these students, these developers, and the companies and universities. So setting up that network is gonna definitely take some time. But I would say the other thing as well, the other thing that we're going to be concentrating on, just not right this second because we're doing developers first, is creators. So as I said, as we spoke about earlier on in the space, doing stuff like mixing creator experiences. So rather than, again, what has been happening quite recently a lot is like lots of gallery stuff for like NFT creators, but then you don't have, let's say, lots of NFT things being put into one. It's kind of like, I would say mainly the two that go forward is the art itself and then fashion. Those two seem to meet up quite a lot, but you don't get like the music, the gaming, the film. You don't get that all coming into kind of one thing. You do here and there, but there's a few meetups in London that I do focusing on these kind of things, but I think it's more having those experiences where you're just talking about art and culture, right? And understanding, seeing how this technology is kind of
Be
intersecting
kind of
with
used
culture.
for other applications than just the kind of straightforward, the sort of ones and twos, numbers, kind of financial applications that it can be used in
Yeah,
some of these more.
we
Yeah,
see that already, yeah, right? We see a lot of that, and as I said, there's events that have this kind of mix, right, of people anyway, or projects basically that are in or that are there. But I think what is going to be like a critical turning point, what I think a lot of us understand in the space, is that when it is very normal for, like we saw in 2021, for somebody to be talking about NFTs, or for somebody to be talking about a particular collection, not let's say, somebody's talking about Bored Apes because Bored Apes has been on every news platform around the world, right? We're talking about like different communities in crypto and newbies like kind of coming in, and it being normal to kind of come in and get an NFT drop at the door, you know. And for these, like I said, how these things intersect with each other, how musicians are partnering with artists, who are partnering with filmmakers, who are partnering with fashion, to put together experiences, like, really, really deeply immersive experiences. And when you get to that point, that the people that are attending these events, yeah, right, are no longer like we, you know, as I said, use the word NFT. You know, they just say, hey, I'm getting a collectible or whatever, and they're turning up to the party, right? That's like the pinnacle of when adoption's gonna, like, we hit that hockey stick, bro, like hard. You understand, right? Because it's like literally at that point, right, you have like regular people walking in through the door and just having basically a wallet or having the actual the tenacity, I would say, not even, because it has to be like just ubiquitous. Like, it's like, okay, I'm coming along to a Stacks thing. Okay, I'm going to download this Stacks thing, or I'm coming along to a Bitcoin event, and I'm going to be able to download this wallet, and and they can understand real quickly about those things. So, like I said, it's that is the point. I think really notice. You know, you don't notice like a store, a chain of stores as big until one's in your neighborhood, innit, right? So,
Yeah.
and then you start seeing them everywhere. Do you understand, right? Like, you start seeing them everywhere all of a sudden, right? So that's the thing, innit, right? Like, I think that when you hit that point, like, and the only way to hit that point is to bring these things together, these real world use cases that people are using outside of finance, yeah, so that people are not feeling the pressure of investing and trying to earn $1 million or losing their house money. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So I think, yeah, again, the only way to make that happen is the builders have got to build, yeah, right, and they can have fun at these parties, right, but the builders have got to build, right, and the events have got to be so inclusive that, as I said, people want to come to the event not because it's crypto event, it's this, it's that. They want to come to the event because of simply the amount of sheer entertainment or immersiveness or networking or what is that is going on at that event. They just want to turn up, oh, big event's happening, right? So they want to go, yeah, and then they go, and whilst they're there, they are just soaking up Bitcoin like a sponge, bro, like while they're there, right? So that's what needs to kind of, like, as I said, it needs to get to that point, you know. You know, you need to be able to go to Glastonbury, yeah, Bitcoin be so present in Glastonbury that by the time the people who leave Glastonbury have left that were not Bitcoiners and knew nothing before they got there, they want to know what this Bitcoin thing is, yeah, right? Or they've used it, or they've got themselves some sats, or they've collected an NFT or whatever without saying the word NFT, right? So that's it, you know, and that's why I feel like that it is incumbent on everybody in the space to be able to create these kind of experiences for people, not just market to the fucking black hole of the same old people over and over again, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's something. I mean, that's, you try and find like a fancy way to, but I think that's what's good about the Stacks London events that I've kind of seen and been part of. That it's the kind of thing that people would want to come to just because it's cool. It's not any sort of, yeah, that you could come for the sort of the atmosphere and the DJ and whatever else we've got going on, and it's like a cool place to hang out rather than it being that kind of typical networking event-y or the finance event-y kind of feel to it, where it's kind of fake. There's some sense of pretense to it, whereas yeah, we've really been able, you and the rest of the guys, Marlon and Resh, and you've been able to create, yeah, the feel that I think you just described there, which I think is it's real cool. And another example of that might be at Unleashed that I think you mentioned a little bit earlier. And bitcoinunleashed.org the website, is that right?
Yeah. I can't really talk about what's happening at Unleashed. I can't talk about that. I can't really talk about that. But there is something that we are hoping to put together, like, special.
I'm trying to push him for alpha, ladies and gentlemen, but he's a tough man. He's a tough man.
Like, if it, all right, cool. If there will be a few things, right, just going on just generally, and there's a few communities that we're bringing into the event that are going to be good partner communities. But but yeah, if there's an ability for me, maybe in the next town hall or one of the other spaces, like maybe Natna's upcoming. I know, sorry, it might take a bit away from this one, but but yeah, I can't exactly say 100% yet, right? But let's say that there's maybe about 75% that something special might happen. Yeah, you have to turn up and see it. Maybe it might just be one of those ones. You have to just turn up and see it.
There you go.
Right, so, but yeah, there is something that we're thinking about along these lines, isn't it? Yeah, definitely.
He's like a member of here. I'm trying, well, trying to get information out of him. There's something happening. Yeah, there might be something happening. There might not be something happening. I don't know nothing. Yeah, but if people want to check out the early stages of Unleashed, Bitcoin Unleashed.org, and there'll be updates come sure on that kind of thing. And that is 19th and 20th of October, 19th and 20th of October. Yeah, in London, England. Just to kind of round off before we come ask Sam to say hi, big up Stacks Australia. But yeah, can you give us one thing, Nat, that you are excited about hopefully happening in 2024 regarding the Stacks? Anything within Stacks, it could be a SIP or a protocol upgrade, or a protocol being built on Stacks that you think is cool, or anything else at all that is forthcoming in 2024. Anything to do with Stacks ecosystem.
I mean, everyone again. SBTC is obviously the big exciter, I would say, but there's lots of other community things that are going on. I'm liking all of the upgrades as well to a lot of the kind of the Stacks big companies, shall we say. So Gamma's had recent upgrades, Xverse had a lot of recent upgrades, Hero, which is now Lever, has had a lot of recent upgrades, and I'm just liking the way that is all happening. I'm liking the way that everything is really with the high level applications, and especially got a big up block survey and Sigle or a sigil, as people like to call it. So because they definitely have been supportive of us from day one, and they also supported the Cody's Law event. So yeah, like I think one thing that I've said quite a lot to people that know me in the ecosystem is like, sometimes we say that things are broken in Stacks and we get frustrated, right? Yeah, but let's be honest, right? Out of a lot of other ecosystems, when you come in and you start using the stuff that is supposed to work on Stacks, it works, right? Like, so for the basic, side of it, a lot of other applications will say, yeah, we're building this or whatever, or things that are supposed to be, let's say, L2s on Ethereum, or even some things that are supposed to be L2 on Bitcoin. Yeah, we're doing this. But all you can do is like the really long way around doing stuff like all the time. When I came into Stacks, it felt like almost like, even just using Hero and Xverse and some simple little stuff that was going on is like a cheat code. Like a lot of people like have not got these same experiences in other ecosystems. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of ecosystems that do have really, really good experiences. But I wouldn't say that the experiences from Stacks applications have been worse. So yeah, forward to the updates from all of those companies, as I said, the larger ones and the smaller ones that are coming out of the startup lab and other places within the ecosystem. Then lastly, I would probably say, or no, I wouldn't even say lastly, but to touch on two more points, I'd say the chapters. I'm definitely bullish on all of the different chapters, because bringing this education to people about what people can do with Stacks and with Bitcoin is it's like really first class, and bringing that around the world is like it just really gives light to that and brings more builders in, more creators in, and more people being able to understand things from a Bitcoin first perspective. So yeah, that, and then as I said, like, just to shout out lastly, I was going to say Hero Gamer and what he's doing with the grants governance. And I've just posted a tweet to that in the nest. So if you want to join that as well, because it's totally open, and that is definitely something big that is going on. You know, I did say SBTC, but you know, all things Nakamoto upgrade, I think we've all been waiting for a long time anyway. So, so yeah, there is lots and lots of things happening. I think that sometimes, I think the people have been here for a very long time in Stacks before, you know, us in here, or you know, even yourself, because you've been around in Stacks since before, you know, I've been around in terms of, you know, holding some Stacks. So, you know, that kind of how do I want to say it? This kind of like thing that sometimes we all kind of get a little bit down and we think, oh, nothing's not moving, we're getting frustrated, right? Stacks as Stacks is only really been here for what, 2.5 years? Yeah. Like, so Stacks as Block Stack has been around for a while, yeah, which makes it really, really cool that there's like a first iteration and a second iteration. Yeah, and then now we're on like 2.1, like, you know, so on and so forth. So it's, I think for me, it's again seeing these iterations that are happening overall. Yeah, we're still very, 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 very early at this moment in time for even Stacks itself as the ecosystem we see today. So there's so much stuff. We could sit here all night, and all of the people that have come in that are in the ecosystem, I'm sure they can all come up and name probably 5 or 6 of the same things that they're waiting for, and then say the same thing as me, that, you know, like there's so much other stuff going on, because you just start thinking of stuff, and the people that you've met within the ecosystem, and that's the killer thing as well. You think of people that you've met in the ecosystem. It's not like, you know, in some other ecosystems, you go over there and it's like, okay, yeah, you know, you've heard of all of these great apps, but you don't really know what the fuck any of them are doing and which one's going to be a rug at any moment in time, right? But so many people, yeah, we love you, Hero, are doxed in Stacks, yeah, right? Yeah, that, you know, everyone speaks to each other, you know, like we know when, like, somebody is doing something fishy really quickly in the community. And I suppose that's a benefit of being let's say, a smaller community than a lot of other crypto communities. So yeah.
Sweet, yeah. So much going on. Even, yeah, as I've sort of looked into the Stacks ecosystem and everything that's going on, again, over the last sort of 6 months, there's been so much, like, a step change. And as you say, the sort of upcoming Nakamoto release and some of the stuff around SBTC, I'll not say too much, because hopefully we'll do a couple of town halls with some people, some experts, some of the people building some of the technology, I guess, to come on and explain it to apes like ourselves. But it's amazing to see what's going on, and that this, yeah, just the idea of Stacks as iterated by Manib and Naval and other people years ago is actually starting to kind of come to life. So yeah, I guess at this point, we'll try and usually see if there are any of the audience listening who want to come up and chat. We've had a couple of people come up already, and we've got Sam out of Stacks Australia here right now. So yeah, if anyone has a question for Nat, please let us know. But first of all, I'll just ask Sam if he would like to come up and say hi.
Definitely. Hi, everyone. I don't think I need an introduction. Almost everybody here know me. So, personally, I like the theme of the conversation, Bitcoin-driven communities. I think for the past months, a few months since I joined Stacks initially, it's been one of my drive in this space. Always about the community, always about networking, meeting new people, connecting to help the ecosystem, whatever brand grow. So it's it's kind of rewarding in a sense where you see people coming together for the same goal. And when I mean coming together in the sense where we started having people connecting to rejuvenate the likes of the Stacks Advocate program, each chapter looking for a representative to come into Stacks and rejuvenate their branch, connect with their people, create loopholes or bridges for their communities or their countries to come into the program. So it gives joy when you know that you're not the only one doing stuff. I know many times we have grievances about people at the top and keep asking questions. Are they actually seeing what we are doing, especially us at the grassroots, the community builders, and the likes of the artists, the musicians, and the people that are not in the tech space. So when we have talk shows like this that connects or resonates with what people like us are thinking about, it goes a long way to come together and restructure what we already think we have. So it's one of the things I like about all the chapters I've seen all this while. I've been following Stacks London for a while on LinkedIn, Twitter Space, and I read the blogs from Resh. I join the community chapters. I join spaces and lots of things I do in the background. So it's just to help the ecosystem to grow. That's just basically it. And many of the things that you guys don't even know is, I think only a few people know that I'm part of Stacks Australia, but I'm also part of the Nigerian guy. I am basically Nigerian. Presently live in Nigeria. And so it's this community of the thing, the growth of the community, it's one of the things I do behind the scene. Like many times I go into Stackers Poll where I know that we have a few Nigerians there. And they're like, hey guys, what are you guys really doing? Like, it's more like I'm seeing other people out there. I'm not saying you guys that I consider as my brothers. And many of the time they come back like, oh, we are trying our best. We're just not equipped enough to do the things that we want to do. And this is where the likes of the Stacks Advocate come in. Why I am part of the people trying to rebuild the Stacks Advocate. Because when I came in, the first thing I wanted to do is where are those people that are considered the foundation of whatever you're trying to build? And that's what Stacks Advocate. And I remember going out to Gordon, like, Gordon, who are those people that help with onboarding? I know a couple of people that might want to come into this space, but I cannot do it alone. So the first place I went to was Stacks Advocates, connected with the likes of Harold, and he gave me this long speech about what the guidelines of the governance of Stacks Advocate was, and it inspired me to like move into the community. And the other part that was inspiring about the community was the people. And I know I've mentioned it a lot of times. I've been in Solana, I've been in Ethereum, I've been in different places, on the likes of different chains out there. I've been roaming about, especially when you're looking for Web3 jobs, you have to roam about. So when I came in here, the culture was different. It's not like the way you stand alone in the Solana community. If you don't know people, you cannot get into some spaces. The Ethereum community, they believe you have to be some kind of mogul, or you can get into some spaces. But here in Stacks, it's like everybody just like, what can you do? What can you do to benefit us? What are your skills? What are your expertise? Let us see it. Help us to grow as a family. And I feel that that's one of the things that kept me uh, glued and coming back to the space. So Bitcoin-driven communities, it all goes down to us as individuals in this space, be you an artist, be you a tech, a dev, or a community builder, whatever you are, coming together to collaborate and expressing the same vision that Munib had when he was thinking about Stacks and Space. So there are no barriers. It's just people. Let's connect to each other. Think about new plans, new activities that can go out there. And I am very glad that the likes of Stacks London are doing events, collaborating with private spaces to bring in more people. We're Stack Australia are also doing the same thing. Recently, we just restructured our roadmap to collaborate with private sectors and universities and a couple of things that I cannot mention as alphas here. So it's one of the things we're building. And I'm seeing other chapters like Beijing. I think Crypto Beijing is from that part. He's also trying to put in his own efforts to bring in people from China. We've seen other places, and I feel like, okay, if we all can move this along from the grassroots, and the grassroots, I mean, Stacks Advocates, connect with the likes of the projects, the communities that I hear that feel like they are unhunted or unheard, and we push them out there, give them a voice to where they want to be, like collaborate and I feel like we can build a better community apart from just talking about it. And I'm one of those kind of people, like, I don't like talk. I like you put it into action. Let's see how it goes. If it's not going to work, let's restructure it. Let's do another thing like A/B testing and stuff like that. So in the long run, to just finalize what I'm saying, I feel like we started it, and as long as we have the people that are passionate about what we are creating, we're going to build a better community. But the major thing is, let's reach out to other people out there. I know in the staff server, there are people that have tremendous skills that still don't know where to start from. And this is where we as Joes, we that have those ideas, those experience, we need to reach out to those people, connect with them. I believe that before you can pass a cup to somebody, it has to be filled up. So let's build what we can, invite more people, connect with all those people that we need to connect with, and push out the whole ecosystem in the first place. So thank you.
Thanks so much, Sam. That was great, man. So eloquent. I mean, yeah. After listening to that, you're back, unfortunately, listening to this guy ramble for just a little while longer. But again, fantastic to kind of hear from yet another part of the world and what's going on. Well, two parts of the world, both out in Nigeria and Australia. Sam hosts and speaks on some excellent spaces, and real kind of eloquent guy compared to myself. So yeah, check out Stacks Australia. Is it Stacks Australia on Twitter? I will just find out. It is indeed Stacks Australia on Twitter. Check Sam at the Liberal Thumb, and I think we will probably wrap up very shortly, unless there are any last minute hand raises from the few people. Thanks so much for for bearing with us. Thanks so much for getting through this, guys. Really appreciate it. And thanks so much to Nats Dominable Nat C for coming and chatting and talking a little bit about ourselves here at Stacks London and what we've got going on over the next sort of few months. Nat, thanks again, man. Anything that you want to plug or ask of anybody listening to a replay or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, if you're listening on the replay, anything that's in the nest, definitely check it out. If you're around in London or if you're part of the London community and you're listening to this later, remember to go to bitcoinunleashed.org to get involved with Bitcoin Unleashed, or look around in the community. You'll see the stuff getting posted in the Telegram and everywhere else in the community. We'll also have some codes to give away as well to the members of the community that are in London. So just look out for those. And then later tonight as well, up top there, Hero Gamer with the community grants show that is going to be coming up. Well, I say show, but it is more like a town hall also. So yeah, definitely those are the things to look out for. And that's it. We shall see you guys on the next round.
Nice one, guys. Thanks very much. SIP Editors Twitter space. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. SIP Editors Twitter space is in half an hour if you're listening live. And thanks so much, everybody. We will hopefully let you know of another town hall space with a guest or two. I'll do the Nazi and I'll not release the alpha right now, but we're talking to a few people, and as has been demonstrated again, what a great community. Thanks so much for turning up and listening to this rambling idiot on his first space. The Stacks community is unique almost in its way, just as you've heard this evening from a few people who have come up and spoken. It is a real kind of inviting space where it's a case of what can you do and how can you kind of help, and people will support you. yeah, thanks again to Hero, to Fred, to everyone who came and spoke a little bit this evening. Thanks to Nat, and check